A Day in Colonial Haiti by Philippe Girard. Narrated by Oluseun Olagbaju. 4 p.m. The cook smokes some chicken. What's going on, Your Majesty? Lost your crown? Henry Christophe looks around, trying to figure out who could be taunting him like that. Spanish Street is packed, and he can't see a thing. Busy pedestrians constantly bump into him, each one wondering why this young fool is standing in the middle of the Cape's busiest street on a Sunday afternoon. Christophe finally identifies his tormentor, a girl, no more than 7, who is grinning mockingly from a safe distance. He stands in front of the inn, La Couronne de France, whose name means the French crown. For those who can't read French, a crown-shaped sign hangs over the entrance door to identify the Cape's most renowned table. Christophe is tall, so he often bangs his head on the sign. From a distance, it almost looks like he's wearing the crown, even though he's the furthest thing from a king. He's a slave. Hence the girl's taunting. Christophe lets the matter slide. He knows from experience that the girl, her name is Mary Louise, will disappear into the crowd if he tries to catch her. Even if he did, he couldn't give her the whipping that she deserves because her father is an affluent, free black man who carries some weight in Little Guinea, the Cape's black neighborhood. Also, the girl's sister, Cécile, knows voodoo, and Christophe is afraid of her. At any rate, Christophe has bigger fish to fry, or chicken to smoke, to be precise. He's the maitre d' at La Couronne Inn, which is quite a responsibility for a 17-year-old. This morning, the owners, his owners, asked him to fulfill a large order. The inn is catering a banquet for the Theatre of the Cape. After tonight's performance, the theater's director wants to serve poulet boucané, a preparation of smoked chicken which dates back to Haiti's early buccaneers. Christophe is woefully behind. He doesn't even have the chickens yet, which he ordered from a market seller from Cluny Square. A carriage appears in the distance. Actually, no, it's just a small post-chaise that barrels down the avenue, narrowly missing some pedestrians returning from a funeral and coming to an abrupt stop in front of the inn. The coachman, Toussaint, asks if he could park there. He has an errand to run at the market and he's terribly late. Christophe tells him to buzz off. The inn stables can't accommodate its many clients, let alone a random passerby. He'll have to park elsewhere. Christophe resumes his anxious pacing until he finally spots the person he has been expecting all afternoon, the market seller, Marie Mouton. She's followed by a slave who is holding 6 chickens in each hand and is barely visible under a clucking mass of feathers. 24 more chickens are tied by their feet to a rope hanging around his neck. The chickens are not happy at all, and they're letting Christophe know, loudly. Christophe would like to give Marie a piece of his mind about her tardiness, but he has no time to waste. I'll just pay the woman and get going. Chickens sold for as much as 10 livres a piece during the American War of Independence because of the English naval blockade, but the price is now down to just 4 livres per chicken. 3 dozen chickens at 4 livres a piece add up to 144 livres. That's easy enough. But French currency is rare in the colony to discourage smuggling, so colonists often use Spanish piastres instead. There have been a lot of these silver coins floating around lately, because so many Spanish soldiers were stationed in the Cape during the war. This is where the real math begins. Over the years, the exchange rates between the French colonial livre and the Spanish piastre has fluctuated between 6 livres to the piastre and 7 livres 10 sols to the piastre. As if that was not complicated enough, there are no small coins in the colony, so making change means physically breaking the silver coins into 8 segments, which has earned them the nickname of pieces of 8. Marie Mouton weighs the coins in her hand and inspects them one by one while Christophe hops in place impatiently. A few years back, some American merchants imported counterfeit piastres whose silver content was debased, so she can't be too careful. Finally, after haggling over a suspiciously small bit, the market seller is satisfied, and she tells the porter to complete the delivery. Christophe rushes into the inn and makes his way through the dining hall, followed by the slave and his noisy load. The inn is packed with revelers celebrating the end of Lent. Thirsty patrons clamor for Christophe's attention, right and left, but he barrels through. Sorry, no time for this, not now. The cook, Blaise Breda, waits for him in the kitchen. He has some choice words for Christophe about the late delivery. The young maitre d' would like to explain that he is not to blame and that he has spent the whole day running around like, well, a headless chicken. But he swallows his pride. Blaise used to be a slave cook on the Breda plantation of Haut du Cap, but he is now free. He doesn't have to be here. He's doing Christophe a favor by coming on a Sunday to help with this big order. Blaise pushes Christophe aside. No self-respecting French chef would trust the cooking abilities of a slave imported from the English Caribbean. Christophe steps out of the way and lets him get to work. He knows his place. Henry Christophe is a native of the island of Grenada, which is why he spells his first name with a Y instead of an I. During the last war, a French officer took him to Savannah, Georgia, where he served as a drummer boy in the French army and was even wounded in combat. He was 11 at the time. Because of his many travels, Christophe is bilingual, worldly, and comfortable when conversing with whites of all nations. This has earned him the coveted job of maitre d' at the inn. But he has limited cooking expertise, which is why he begged Blaise to come help. To smoke meat, Blaise explains, you need to cut long strips, each of them about 1.5 inches wide. Then you cover them in salt a full 24 hours. Though today, sadly, he'll have to cut the seasoning down to just a couple hours because some idiot couldn't get the main ingredients in time. Blaise points to the changes he made to the kitchen's fire pit. He installed a wooden cover over the pit, like a little steam house, which he divided into trays. The smoke builds up inside until it seeps through the cracks of the contraption and into the kitchen. Christophe coughs. Don't be such a child, snaps Blaise. It's just smoke. The next step is to place the strips of meat on the trays, but not too close to the fire. You want to smoke the meat, not grill it. Blaise points to a pile of animal innards left over from some previous slaughtering. He grabs a handful and throws it on the fire. The smoke turns dark, thick, and acrid. Christophe coughs some more. That stuff stinks! Blaise shakes his head, wondering how this child once led infantry charges into the powdery haze of a battlefield. The smoke is the secret, you see, he explains. This is where the flavor comes from. Keep adding more animal bones and skins as you go. The flavors will slowly enter the flesh and stay there. If you smoke the meat long enough, the strips will turn into dry little sticks of jerky that can last for years. That's how pirates used to feed their crews back in the day. Though today, your customers will want their chicken to be moist, so don't overdo it. Christophe nods. This is why you hire an expert. Blaise slams the door shut and lowers his voice to a whisper. Now here's the real secret. If you want the meat to be tender, really tender, here's what you need to do. Blaise takes a bottle of vinegar from the shelf in one hand, a live chicken in the other, and pours the vinegar down the chicken's throat. At least he has a good reason to cough, Blaise jokes as the chicken clucks indignantly. Next, Blaise grabs a handful of feathers from the chicken and yanks them out. Another handful, then another. In a matter of seconds, the veteran cook has finished, and the naked chicken is flapping a diminutive set of wings. Blaise throws the live chicken on a table and grabs another. When all remaining 35 chickens are plucked, he will burn off their down and rub salt all over them. Only then will he kill them and smoke them. This is the secret for nice, tender poulet boucané, he explains. You need to feather the chickens while they're still alive. Now, if you'll excuse me, Your Majesty, go back to ruling your kingdom and let me rule mine. I have 3 dozen chickens to smoke. The cook opens the kitchen door and pushes Christophe into the dining room of La Couronne Inn, where a flock of thirsty customers call indignantly for his attention.
A note from the historian and author Philippe Girard. Henry Christophe eventually obtained his freedom and married the mocking girl from the street, Marie-Louise Coy-David, in 1793. According to tradition, that girl's sister, Cécile Fatimon, was a voodoo priestess who officiated at the Bois Caïman voodoo ceremony that preceded the great August 1791 slave revolt, alongside the voodoo priest Bookman, who is featured in the 8 p.m. chapter. Henry Christophe played an important role in the Haitian Revolution, eventually rising to the rank of commander of the City of the Cape in the late 1790s. After Haiti's independence, the enslaved maitre d' of the Inn of La Couronne was crowned as King Henry I of Haiti, while Marie-Louise became his queen. The voodoo priestess Cécile Fatimon also became First Lady of Haiti in the later regime. And one last note, please don't try this cruel chicken recipe at home.